Sweet. I think that worked. Sweet. I think that worked. Man, there's a big delay on YouTube. Testing one. Is there a delay on YouTube? Two, three. Sweet. I think that worked. Yeah, there's about an 8 or 9 second delay. I don't think that we can do anything about that until we get YouTube partner, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Sometimes like just blows my mind how just how bad all of this stuff is. Okay. That's so weird. How it just kicks you out all the time. Copy password, paste. Okay. Is that going to work now? Jeez, Louise. Close that. Okay, so it worked in Twitch and Kick. Where is the YouTube chat? Just watched your wavelength set for separating audios. Big thanks. Have one of wavelength 3s for years now and never bothered. Hey, that's good to hear. I think Elgato's got something cooking with wavelength version 3, my friend. Have you heard anything about that? They are trying to really capitalize on everything that made the Go XLR really popular. I'm trying to get messages to pop up on the screen. Mr. Sogo, good to have you here. Good morning, good morning. Select live source. Yeah, I did select this, hey? Did that work? Okay. All right. I think we're in business. There's this multi-chat tool. I wanted to make a video on it. The tool is called Social Stream Ninja. I don't even think they're in version 1 yet. Like they're in version 0.3.56 and it's been like this for a while. Oh yeah, it literally says here beta activated. And it's a powerful tool and I like it a lot. I'll kind of show you what it looks like here. Can I hide this? How do I hide the link view? No, copy link, clear all. There we go. If I just hide this, that should work. So if I go to, this is the Social Stream Ninja tool. It has like so many customizable features here on the right. You can connect almost any live streaming source in existence. YouTube channels, Kick, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I've never even heard of Trovo versus being on there. I don't know what Picarto is, Drive. This is apparently the gold standard in multi-chat tools, but it's so hard to use and it breaks all the time. The new voice focus feature. I watched a video from Harris Heller on the voice focus feature. See, I'm still on version 2.04 here of Wavelink. I'm having some issues with any later versions. I think there's a pretty big bug that a lot of people are having that Elgato isn't addressing. But where is it? Voice focus. I wasn't using voice focus because I don't know, maybe it doesn't like the Shure SM7B microphone or something like that, but it felt like a little bit artificial. And I don't really have a lot of background noise anyway. Like sometimes you might hear the dog tiptoeing in the background or something like that, but I kind of just left it off. All I use is the Elgato EQ. If you want to see, here's what the current equalizer looks like. I'm up in Canada, so we tend to speak a bit more nasally up here because all of our sinuses are plugged because it's so dry up here. And then I just use the Elgato compressor. You can copy EQ settings, but you can't copy compressor settings because it's going to purely depend on your voice and how boomy you are and your tone and pitch and the sound treatment of the room. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying version 3 of Wavelink when it comes out. Your Twitch account successfully logged in somewhere else, yeah. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Let's pull up, let's go to X here. Elgato actually deleted their post about it for some reason. I was trying to figure out why. There we go. Maybe they just had a typo. So you can, like in Wavelink, you can already select which sources you want to go to which channel. I think they're putting a bit more of a table view to make it a bit easier to, I'm not going to say like comprehend, but to like a better visualizer on where you want your audio tracks to go. And you no longer need an Elgato microphone to actually use it either, which I think is kind of cool. I don't like it when people gatekeep, software under certain, just hardware protocol. Seems kind of sleazy, so that's a big W for Elgato. So I don't fully understand it now. Like I'll have to play with it, but I think they just built a better visualizer to see where all of your sources are coming from. And I never heard people using ChatGPT to find EQ settings. ChatGPT don't got no ears, son. How's ChatGPT gonna EQ your audio for you? Has no ears. ChatGPT might understand like audio theory from the perspective of a bunch of like Reddit users or something like that. Yeah, this is what the GoXLR team did really, really well, was a good visualizer of where all the sources come from. Oh, I guess also what they're doing, see, I can't show you. I use my in clips, give it like 30-second clip. Yeah. I mean, if it works, that's good. I don't think AI is useless, but I think people put a little bit too much power into its intelligence. There's a difference between intellect and wit, and ChatGPT might be able to regurgitate some information, but I think it's tough to like give some some literal sound advice. But it's cool if it works. Because what you can't do in the current version of Wavelink then is control individual sources. So you can make like a game quieter in your system or something like that. It'll be neat to test. The problem with asking ChatGPT, because like, for example, I think my audio sounds, in fact, I don't think, like I know my audio sounds pretty decent right now. I'd say it's tuned to my voice fairly well. Obviously, there's always better tweaking. ChatGPT, you could give it something absolutely perfect, and it would figure out a way to make you change it and to think that it's bad. You know what I mean? And you really have to load your questions up with ChatGPT, or else it gets really biased. Because if you just said, hey, take this audio clip and tell me how to improve it, it would just make some shit up, even if it didn't need to be improved. And people have done this by uploading video clips from like Lord of the Rings or like Titanic or like Mission Impossible, like shows that have incredibly good market presence, and ChatGPT will tell it what's wrong with it because it has no underlying opinion. My biggest issue with Wavelink is that you can't hide inactive sources. I have 3+ on a few of them. Hide inactive sources. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but maybe with the level of control we have over Wavelink version 3, I'll definitely do a full video when version 3 comes out. Give me a warmer tone to fix all your peaks. But what if the tone already is warm, right? Hey, if it works, that's good. That's really good. I've even taken thumbnails, like YouTube thumbnails for videos that have between like 15 and like 150,000 views. And of course, ChatGPT doesn't know that these videos have, hundreds of thousands of views. And I'll give it the thumbnail and title, and without any context, and just say, help me improve this. And it'll just start making up a bunch of stuff to tell you to change, because it feels like it has to make recommendations. It's weird. ChatGPT is actually sometimes bad at giving advice, or maybe I'm the problem. Who knows? What kind of content do you make? Let's check out your channel here. Go to channel. Should we do a live channel audit? MS on the fries. Oh, I see you got 4 shorts. You just do some random gaming. Are you trying to grow a YouTube channel? Sponsored by Bonk. Can I check this out?
I'm in.
That's pretty loud.
No, buddy. Oh, fish. What? I missed.
Hello, Cherry. Cherry does what? Oh, mainly on Twitch. Fishing for a fight. You got to start putting the names of the titles of the games in your videos here, man.
I'm in. Oh no.
These are also like reframed horizontal on a vertical format, my guy. What's kind of comment do we got? Oh, telling people look. Yeah, make your, if I had to give you like a couple quick pieces of advice, take your most popular video and make that your channel trailer. Write a post on your home page and you don't have to have it like pinned, but just have a general like good one-liner kind of elevator pitch about yourself. You know, you're not selling anything, but you still gotta, you know, give people a reason to watch your stuff. And focus on taking some of these horizontal clips, reformat vertical, like don't upload a horizontal clip in a vertical canvas without reframing it. And then, yeah, even try taking a compilation of a bunch of your shorts into a video, like a horizontal video. Oh, I see. You're the editor and artist. The team right here. Let's see, what's your channel like? I love art and my cat. That's cool. What do we got here? Do you live stream any of your artwork? Oh no. Go figure, a cat thumbnail is your number one. Yeah, that's number one. Hey, yeah. Man, the internet will always love cats. Yeah, if they're old, just focus on improving, right? Oh, not enough data available. What about this here? Nope, not enough data available. View stats. Oh, this is a pretty new channel. I'm not sponsored by vidIQ or anything, but I do love their tool. I probably have an affiliate link I could get from them, but it's well worth the money. If you're actually like serious about growing a brand on YouTube, vidIQ is probably one of the best tools you can use. I did want to go, I had a couple talking points this morning. There was a few videos I wanted to watch. Some people post stuff in Reddit that they want me to give their, there's a cringe live on there. Well, are all live streams a little bit cringe? Oh, you might have it unlisted. There's no live, tab here, my friend. There is a, let's go over some of the things that people want to talk about today. This is a video some people wanted me to watch, the real reason why we should revive extinct animals. Maybe let's put that at the end of the list. This video got like 1 million views in a couple days. It's got to be a banger, right? Yeah, get that bank. Everyone's looking for the bag, right? How much would you have to make to have to go full-time on YouTube? I was curious to see what some of the comments on here. I streamed for a few like months and hit 200 followers decently fast, and I stopped for a bit. Yeah, live streaming's a tough game. You really have to if you're gonna grow a live stream, you know, it's like, let's just use purple for Twitch. How do I make a circle here? It's like everyone thinks that they have to just focus on live content. This is going to be, how do I fill this? I don't use Paint. I'm a Photoshop user. But what you really have to do, oh, I see. I actually haven't used Paint in Windows 11 yet. Where's the text? Make this black. do you make the text bigger? Do you this? 22. On the images. I'll be like Asmongold one day. I'll do all these you can't even move it. See, the people that live stream, they focus all of their effort on live streaming. I have a video on multi-streaming, actually. I could show you. But where every creator goes wrong, especially when they start out live streaming, and I could say this from experience, not only working with dozens of creators over the years, is that YouTube has to be your big focus. Like, YouTube is like this. And you have to take, YouTube has to be your big priority. Streaming is secondary, right? And then you have to go, you know, create stuff on X. Not Z, X. And then you have to go and create stuff on IG. And then you have to go and create stuff on TikTok. Man, paint is weird. You can't hit enter? What the heck? Well, how do I click out? There we go. Too many people just focus on live streaming. They'll spend 30 to 40 hours a week if they're trying to do it full time. They won't make a single YouTube video. They won't make a single post on Instagram. They won't post any updates on X, and they completely forget about TikTok. I work with someone who spent 5 months streaming about 60 hours a week on Twitch and Kick, and they did nothing. Yeah, repost to all sites. Your goal with live streaming should be, at least at the start, until you build a following, is to live stream for the sole purpose of making clips. Yeah, I haven't quite figured out TikTok yet, but it's still like if you take like Threads, Instagram, I mean X is kind of its own, you know, can of worms. But TikTok is just huge. Like, some people compare the viewership numbers to TikTok to YouTube. I haven't seen the data myself, but I'm just trying to say that if someone's goal is to become a live streamer, your goal is actually to be a YouTuber. And with live streaming being your content medium, you can look at people like, love them or hate them, Asmongold does this perfectly, where he streams for the purpose of making videos. So he knows that there's going to be a news event on, he live streams and watches it, and then his editors clip that and upload it as a video. Yeah, billions of views. Well, I don't know about billions, but millions at least. Oh yeah, people are making huge careers off of content and live streaming. Who else does this really, really well? Someone who I recently, Extra Emily, she started doing this. Do you guys know this Extra Emily streamer? She's big on Twitch. They're doing this right now where her live streams are directly cut up as her sort of travel vlogs. I've followed her for a little bit, but I've paid attention recently. Like, she's on a road trip right now. So all this is right here, 12,000 views, but this is titled like a travel vlog, right? It's like the TwitchCon road trip. So they're not live streaming content and it's just going to live live on Twitch. They're doing this for the purpose of making a YouTube travel series. Well, by definition, a blue-collar job is a little bit different. You know, I was a blue-collar worker when in my teens and 20s. But it's not only is it one of the hardest careers to enter, but I think there's a lot of misconceptions about it. You know, it's like being a business owner. Essentially, if you want, that's what content creators are.
Okay, so
You know, Asmongold talks about paying, 8 figures a year in taxes. Who pays 8 figures a year in taxes? Businesses do. So there's a little bit difference between wanting to be a streamer and a creator and then wanting to start up an online content business. I secretly wish a lot more creative individuals knew more about business. I think that they'd be way more successful online if they were able to kind of marry those two aspects together. Because there's some incredibly talented people that can make great videos, but they don't have the business sense to then turn that all those thousands of views into thousands of dollars. Yeah, and you find there's outlier stories like Moist Critical. I don't know the guy's last name, first name Charlie. Like, he recently made a video about how he's turned off all of his monetization because he's made $42 million in the past, handful of years of being a creator. But he's also started multiple businesses. He's had paid content in the form of, I believe, Patreon and or podcasts, from what someone on Reddit was saying. He's got a soap and like hygiene company. Like, he has created an entire business around his brand. And sure, $42 million would be nice, but no one, I mean, the reason why he turned off monetization is because people don't really need that much money. You can pretty much set yourself and your whole family and all your friends up for that money and then just live the rest of your life on easy mode. Oh, nice. Got a good comment there. That was actually the video I uploaded this morning, was about some of the horrible mistakes I see people make on YouTube, and also some of the really bad advice that big YouTubers give that I personally think holds a lot of content creators back. How do you feel about the channels that just post full stream VODs? I know what you're talking about. I could if you have a channel in particularly that you want me to look at, just post a link. I do believe links are allowed. But like full-length VODs, are we talking like 6 to 10 hours, or are we talking like, use the Extra Emily example in like 1 to 2 hours? Like, one of the things that's going to really hurt your channel, like if you upload a 10-hour video, that's just for ease. Let's say you upload a 5-hour stream, right? Let's say you're streaming on Saturday and you put that 5-hour stream on YouTube. But if someone only watches 5 minutes of that 5-hour long stream VOD, that looks really bad to YouTube. So like, just looping back to these, group of girls that are traveling to TwitchCon, for an example, like they're streaming 12 hours a day, but they're only uploading an hour and 15 minutes of that. So if they were uploading the whole 12-hour VOD, but only like an average of 15 to 20 minutes was actually consumed by the viewer, those are really bad signals to the YouTube algorithm that despite the video being really, really long, most of the time people don't have, 5 to 10 hours to even watch. So it can actually be really like a really bad content strategy to be uploading 5, multi-hour long video clips, because if people don't watch them, YouTube isn't going to show them to people. Does that make sense? The only people that can really get away with that is that if you already have an existing following, that people know that they want to keep coming back and watching your VODs. Because in reality, like, I personally wouldn't go and watch, like, I'm a huge fan of MMOs. Like, I played World of Warcraft. I might play New World today. There's a whole, but anyway, I digress. I probably wouldn't watch someone's 7-hour long World of Warcraft VOD, but I might watch 15, 20 minutes of it. But if in the back end of YouTube, if you're like, let's just go to, retention curve here, right? Like this video is not the best. I know I usually aim for that like 40% retention. That's for like, I think anything over 30% average view percentage is you're already in the top percentage of YouTube. But you got to think, if your video is 5 hours long and someone only watches 10 minutes, they're going to have like single digit percentage viewed. And that tells YouTube that like, nope, don't share this video. People aren't watching it. Yeah, attention spans are short. Well, attention spans are short, but almost nobody is going to watch a 7-hour long video. You know what I mean? I guess I shouldn't say nobody, because there's been a recent shift in consumer consumption trends where people are throwing long form content on their TV in their living room. I'm not sure if you guys have your own place or you're living with your parents or whatever, but it's becoming like, if you look at audience, this is a bad video because this only came out about a week ago. Let's find something with like 10,000 views. Here we go. This video about when I took a van life trip over the summer, you know, we're sitting at 9.8 thousand views, 34% watch time. This is like slightly above average for YouTube. Where's the devices? Is it an audience? There we go. This was shocking to me. This was, if you were to ask me a few years ago, if you were to ask me a few years ago where people are watching content on YouTube, it would be basically their mobile phone and their computer. But look at this. Almost like the majority of the people that watch this van life video was on their TV. Like the guys are sitting on their sofa live, like casting this stuff from their phone or browsing from a remote control. And this never happened a couple years ago. So basically, the consumer behavior is changing to kind of start preparing to consume more longer form content. They all live in vans. Yeah, they could be sitting in vans watching. But I think that like viewership on mobile will probably never go away, but I think some of the viewership from computer is shifting a little bit to TV. And so although I think putting live, like really long form VODs now is a bad idea, who knows what it'll be in 2 or 3 years. And that's part of what makes this industry so fascinating, is that you never really know, like life would be too boring if you just had to do the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? Oh, I can put the chat up there. There's you guys, eh? So yeah, TV viewership was almost non-existent 2 years ago. Like you used to see single digit, but I'm actually even surprised tablet, you know, is as high as it is. Who owns a tablet in 2025? I had a tablet for a few years. It was a Samsung tablet, I think. And it slid off my bed one night and I woke up in the morning and I stepped on it. I think I was watching TV in bed. And do you want to save your work? Don't save. Yeah, it slipped off on the floor, got up morning, heard the crack, sucked. That was a long time ago. Never bought a tablet again. Yeah, is a Kindle, are those just for reading? The Kindle devices? I'm not sure. Cheers, by the way. I'm having a decaf tea this morning called Honeybush. It's actually a new kind of tea that I've discovered. It's decaffeinated, and it sneakily tastes like a black tea. Can you see the picture now? Like I got a chair in the corner here, you know, but the dog is downstairs. He's doing something. He's chilling. He's old dog. He's sleeping. Yeah, some of the the videos we wanted to watch today. Okay, we checked out the Elgato Stream Wavelength version 3. How much would it take for you to make a YouTube to go full time? This kind of like was what we were just talking about, because like some people think that, if they're going to be a creator, they've got to shoot to be making, $10,000 a month, $1 million a year. And if that's, I don't know, those goals are pretty big. You can live a pretty good life off of much smaller salary. I was curious to hear what people were saying here. My goal was 1.5 times my salary. Well, that doesn't really mean anything if you don't say what you used to make. 60,000 long form views a month. That's about $200. He must be in a really low paying CPM. You're horrified of being famous? Well, then maybe creating content is not for you. So, well, the people that like working in the industry but don't want to be famous, they become editors, right? And thumbnail designers. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting 60,000 views, you could easily, like this person here is right, you could get more money from, sponsorships. For example, if a company was going to run their own ad campaign and try to get 60,000 views, I mean, they would expect to be paying thousands of dollars. So yeah, if you can pull this organically on your channel, then yeah, you should be reaching out to brands for sure. $300 to $500 for small channels. Yeah, that's pretty common. That's how I like to approach YouTube at the start. When you can just build a hobby out of YouTube and make, an extra, if you can make a free car payment every month just for fiddling around with viewers, why not, right? Or sorry, fiddling around with videos for some viewers. Someone I follow has around 650,000 followers. They said they get offers for $5,000 per ad read. That's about accurate. I mean, I've seen creators with even in 100,000 followers, get offered $5,000 for ad reads. Did research, part of you comes from sponsorships. That is like partially true. I wouldn't say a majority, because if you're in the education space on YouTube and your content's, going like viral in your niche, sometimes you don't want to taint your content with sponsorships if you're in like a very specific education category. But yeah, if you're a gamer or just a lifestyle creator, I do think that sponsorships probably play a majority of your income. Versus if you were a finance YouTuber, right? That's notoriously a CPM that pays a lot. And I don't know, you just don't see too many finance YouTubers, for example, taking many sponsorships. 2 to 3K a month to be some dreams person's salary. Honestly, this person isn't wrong. And I don't think it's actually too hard to make a couple grand a month from content. You got about 150 Twitch subs or $150. Either way, that's good for you. Because if you have your living expenses, like your room and board covered, like you don't really need that much money to live. Waking up to feel more views on the shorts is always a good feeling. Shorts don't pay a lot though. I know what you're saying. It's good to see those shorts, but even to like this is I started up a new channel to monetize, and like I'll just show you here, YouTube Studio. If I go under my Earn tab, I'm trying to see how long it takes me to monetize this channel. Like, do you have any idea how long it takes to get 3 million shorts views, my guy? 3 million. It's way easier to get long form views. It also depends on who your target audience is, right? If your audience watches shorts, then maybe you have to make them. But I think long term, I think horizontal videos are the play. I do. For me anyway. That's what I recommend. That's what I bring people through. Like when I start working with people, the first thing that we usually do is a brand and content audit of their existing channel. And I think people like shorts views because shorts are easy to make, right? It's like that quick dopamine hit. But even brands, I shouldn't like depending on the niche. I'm going to talk very generally here. They're going to get way more value out of a dedicated or even integrated long form video. Because the reality, even like last night, I'm brushing my teeth and I swipe through 30 shorts on my phone as I'm using my Oral-B Sonicare on my mouth, and like I'm not like retaining any of the information from these shorts, but I gave a good 20-30 views to people over the course of my evening, or I could have spent that time watching one long form video. Shower and makeup, blah 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 blah. For me, is around 150 a month. Yeah, just get some gas money, about $1,000 a year. That's even a good way of looking at it. Yeah, just to pay a couple extra bills like cell phone, car payment, go on a vacation every year from YouTube. I uploaded a short that got 2 million views. You made $80 from it, but removed it. Why would you do that? I wasn't making any more money from it or being consistent to keep with any of my followers. Oh, that's too bad that it didn't quite work out the way you wanted to. What I like to encourage people to do is like ride off that wave of momentum. Because when you get one good video, try to make another really good video, then try to like make another really good video. But yeah, you should try it again. I probably need to be consistently making double your monthly expenses to be comfortable quitting a job to do YouTube full time, considering giving benefits and such. Plus, I disagree, but that's that person's opinion. I make $400 to $500 a month between Amazon affiliates and AdSense. I probably need to make 20 times that amount to quit my full-time job. However, my videos are low cost. To film DIY projects he would do anyway. That's the way to do it. People, it's something that you're just going to do anyway. Hit the record button, plan out a good hook, upload that shit to YouTube. And people really sleep on affiliate income too. Here, can I bring this up in Notion? Where do I have my... Let's open up a new tab here. I have a database of this. Digital products, published offers. Here. How do I close this? There. Can I make this bigger? I can't. Can you guys see this? I published this a while ago and it got really good traction, and I feel like it needs more attention because when people think of like being a content creator, they think, okay, I'm going to grow a YouTube channel and then YouTube's going to pay me and then brands are going to reach out to me. And that's just like the icing on the cake of what it takes. That's just like the clear coat on the car. That's just the wrapper on the candy. There's so many layers, to like unlocking different revenue streams online. There's affiliate marketing, memberships, of course, donations, live streaming. If you're actually good at what you do, you should absolutely offer coaching and consulting. Like that's why I started doing it. There's, of course, like ad revenue is basically what most people think about when it comes to being a content creator. Also, like most people don't know that like X or Twitter, they pay you for views. So does like Meta, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. And of course, YouTube notoriously pays the biggest for ad revenue. There's brand partnerships, brand ambassadorships, where you're almost like a contract employee just to say nice things about a company that you vibe with. Merchandise sales, like you don't need to have 1 million followers to sell merch. If you've got a couple hundred people that like what you do and appreciate the advice that you give, they'll buy merch from you. They'd buy a hat, buy a candle, maybe buy a notepad. There's lots of creative ways to sell merchandise beyond even just like, what is it, like drop shipping and white labeling products. That moves right into digital products that people sell. I think that's like super underrated. You see some of the pro gamers get into this, right? Like they collect donations through their live stream. They get ad revenue, but then they sell like a how to get ranked in League of Legends guide or something like that. How to get, you know, platinum in League or something along those lines, right? They sell a digital product, or they freelance, right? If you're really good at what you do, you can help someone else, you know, pour some gas on their fire to kind of blow up what they're doing too. But that's good for you, making $80 off a short. There's probably 30 different revenue streams to being a content creator. I just think that people only tap into about 2 or 3 of them, unfortunately. I think I need about 600,000 subscribers. 600K is a lot. I mean, if you can't monetize 10,000, oof. I need to be making a 6-figure salary. That ain't gonna happen. Well, not with that attitude, my friend. This year with shorts, make per month 150 to 2,200 euros. Beth months on this 20. That's pretty good for shorts. I wonder what this guy does. Can you see these people's channels? I don't think so. I always question the legitimacy sometimes on Reddit. 5K a month, 6K a month. That's the expectation people have for being a content creator, hey? Depends on your niche at RPM. This guy knows. Okay, neat. Every week, YouTube Creator Insider publishes an update on everything that they change and improve on YouTube. Let's see what's new this week.
And a program manager working on our product team here at YouTube and the producer of Creator Insider. If it's Tuesday, it's Newsday, so let's get into it. We've talked about an experimental feature called Voice Replies that enables creators to reply to comments with their voice a few times on the channel before, and got some great feedback from you all. We're happy to announce that we're expanding the feature to a few 100,000 creators on both Android and iOS, with plans to expand to more creators this year.
Okay, so it's mobile
Additionally,
only.
creators will now be able to create a voice reply using Studio Mobile as well as the YouTube main app. As a refresher, creators with the feature can navigate to one of their videos via the YouTube app, find a comment they want to respond to, tap reply, tap the sound wave icon, record a voice reply, and then post it as a comment. Voice replies can only be left by creators on their own channel via main app or Studio Mobile, but all viewers and creators can engage with these comments. The max duration of a voice reply is 30 seconds, and creators will be able to listen to and re-record their voice reply before posting. We hope that the voice reply expansion enables more meaningful relationships between creators and their audiences. The team hopes to expand to more creators this year, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I really want to use that even on my own channel. I get a lot of, I'm going to say, like long-winded comments that have like 3 or 4 questions that are intertwined in them. And if you could answer 3 or 4 questions in a voice note, that's going to save people so much time, and arguably they're going to be able to consume your comment reply much better coming as a voice note. And hey, it probably is going to build a better connection with your audience too.
Until now, courses have only been available to a small subset of creators on YouTube. Now, we're excited to share that we're expanding ad-supported courses to creators with access to advanced features this week. Courses allow viewers to move beyond individual videos and enjoy a more structured, effective learning environment that enables them to dive deeper into topics that are important to them.
Wait, is this gonna like put a nail in school and paid discords and circle communities, because you can sell courses on YouTube now.
So what are some of the features and benefits of designating your playlist as a course? A special course badge will appear on the watch page and playlist page, as well as in search, home, watch
Okay.
next, and anywhere else a course appears. Courses may be featured on youtube.com/courses for easy discovery by new audiences.
youtube.com/courses.
A course link will be available on the watch page so that viewers can more easily find related videos from that course. Quizzes can be created and associated with specific videos in a course and will appear in the description on the watch page of that video. Viewers
Sweet.
can track course progress in the Learn panel. Courses will appear in a dedicated tab on the channel page, and viewers who have saved at least one course will be able to find it in a dedicated section in their library called Your Courses. Courses may offer a discussion section, which is a playlist-level comment section that appears on the course playlist page, where audience members can engage with one another on more general course-related topics, ask for help, get feedback, share success stories, etc.
So you're going to be able to sell courses and products right through YouTube. And I can imagine, I know it says experimental, but you're going to be able to link this with Google Pay. So you're going to have one-click shopping cart to buy someone's course material or little digital product. Man, this is really going to shake up the ecosystem for the creator economy.
When a viewer finishes watching all of the videos in a course, they'll receive a badge, which appears in their library.
Okay.
Within YouTube Studio, course owners will be able to see the views and watch time for each course and dive deeper into advanced analytics to see metrics like audience and revenue. Creators can opt out a course in Studio if they so choose by going to Content, then Courses, clicking on the three-dot menu and selecting Set as Playlist.
Oh, so what they're going to be doing, like if you just go to my channel, for example, you will have View Your Channel, a tab right here that says Courses. That's kind of cool.
Course creation in Studio is currently desktop only. While you can upload videos via mobile, you'll need to add them to a course via desktop. The team hopes to expand to even more creators in the future, and we'll keep you posted here. Moving on. Starting October 13th, we'll begin to roll out a number of visual updates globally across desktop, mobile, and also smart TVs and streaming devices. The goal of this bundle of updates is to make YouTube more intuitive and expressive in order for users to get the most out of the platform. Let's chat through some of the updates. First, we're modernizing the save flow and the watch player. The saving feature's refreshed design makes saving videos to watch later or adding to playlists an easier, more visual experience. Similarly, we're updating the watch player to deliver a more immersive and unified.
I'm just going to outright say it. This looks like a play out of Apple's book. This is all the liquid ass that they've been doing, or sorry, liquid glass that they've been introducing. So immediately I don't like it, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
Viewing experience across formats. We hope these updates to the player controls deliver a more content-first approach. This is being rolled out across Android and iOS devices. We're also refreshing video descriptions that sample colors that appear in the video content. Next, we're improving the double tap to seek feature. This update includes visual improvements to the intuitive gesture that lets you move forward or backward in videos by double tapping the screen. When you double tap, text will display momentarily on the screen, indicating the exact number of seconds the video is moving, for example, 10 seconds forward. And the duration of the skip will align with your individual settings, which can be configured in increments such as 5, 10, and 15 seconds. Moving on, comment threading. This introduces a structured system for comment replies, making it easier to follow individual discussions within a thread. This new system is built to provide a more focused reading experience. The system supports 3 levels of threading in the replies panel. Once the 3rd level is reached, any additional replies will be displayed as flattened responses in the thread. We're introducing custom likes, which are expressive ways to react to videos beyond the standard thumbs up. The like button animation will receive a custom dynamic visual treatment based on the content category you're viewing. For example, when you use the like button on content categorized as music, the resulting animation may appear as an animated musical note. If the content is sports related, the animation might feature a basketball. Now for artists. We're refreshing official cards, which appear in search results for the top searched music artists on YouTube. They'll now offer easier ways to explore the artist's channel and content. Artists can provide their own imagery to be used.
Okay,
Now,
tag
a shopping
group
update.
products for shopping.
Creators are now able to tag options.
What is this here?
Back in July, we introduced a new setting in Studio under Advanced Settings that allows eligible channels in the YouTube Partner Program to share channel insights with advertisers, brands, and third-party platforms.
Okay.
This setting aims to streamline data sharing across Google's tools to enhance creators' discoverability and expand their monetization opportunities while maintaining data control and transparency.
With how much AI and how much Google has their hands into their own work suite with Google Docs, there literally should be a one-click button where Google takes, you should be able to check a bunch of boxes of what data you want to, collect. There should be a one-click button where Google builds a report in Google Sheets. I don't know why that doesn't exist right now.
Same time, we launched a new creator partnership hub for advertisers to more effectively find and connect with creators to partner with. In order to maximize opportunities from brands and advertisers, this setting is important so brands have a full picture of your channel. We wanted to give a reminder for creators interested in sponsorship opportunities to enable the setting if you haven't already. To begin sharing your channel insights, simply navigate to your channel's advanced settings in YouTube Studio and opt in. And that's it for this week. From the creators
cool.
of YouTube
Big W
to
for
YouTube creators,
Let's see if I have any of these settings in the back end. Nice. I want to hide my screen before going to that though. So if I go to channel settings, what did it say? Advanced settings. I must not have that setting yet. Probably because I'm not in the YouTube Partner Program, but that's okay. That's okay. Reminder, the algorithm is made to serve viewers, not creators. Okay, let's see what this is about. This has been mentioned many times, but worth repeating here. The algorithm's goal is not to serve us as creators. That's the hearth truth. It works as the pull rather than the push, as in it pulls the video to viewers rather than pushes the viewers to the channel. I like that analogy. Even the head of YouTube has said that think of the algorithm as the audience. And if you just replace the word algorithm with viewer or audience in all of your sentences, you're not making better videos to serve the algorithm, you're making better videos to serve the viewer. When you check your analytics, you might find some videos suggested that your content is not related to you. It's important to keep this in mind as you continue your YouTube journey. Remember that YouTube's purpose is to get people watching videos and keep them watching. What is really important is to ignore the algorithm and create high quality content, engaging, relevant content to your audience that you're targeting. That is like oversimplification, but sure. 15 years on YouTube with 3 monetized channels and a new channel in the works. I don't understand why so many people are focusing on the algorithm when they can't possibly do anything about how it works. Content is king, and SEO is the Grim Reaper that's going to cut all of your efforts down at the knees. Content is the only relevant thing along with the factors I just mentioned above. So many people want to say they're just making great videos that people love, but the algorithm is ruining everything. I guess I should just give up and then make it personal insult if you suggest focusing on the things under control. Exactly. What the audience is doing says what it wants. Content is... Okay, this was not a... Is there anything like insightful that we can pull from here? In fact, I have the opposite view, this fellow says. Yes, in the end, content is king, but the content that the algorithm wants to push the audience, not the content the audience thinks it wants. Huh? content that the algorithm wants to push to the audience, not the content that the audience thinks it wants. I think I understand that. Example, open-ended hooks right at the start of the video. If you ask the audience if that's what they want, the huge majority of the audience will say that they dislike it because it's kind of clickbaity or whatever. But it's already been tested that over and over again that these open-ended hooks at the start of the video are great in terms of video stats. And these are used as your average view duration and to decrease the bounce rate. Creating content to the algorithm isn't trying to guess what gimmicks are currently working. It's just understanding the basics of YouTube business, serving ads to viewers, and then trying to improve what is useful to YouTube business. Increasing the time and viewers spend on YouTube, higher click-through rate. I feel like I got to run that through ChatGPT just to parse that up. When people's videos flop, the first reaction is always, why is my video not getting views? Wrong. The real question is why people don't want to watch videos. First one blames the algorithm or the audience, things you can't control. Second one puts your focus on content. Well, the problem with this statement here is that quite often platforms don't even show the video in the first place, so the algorithm doesn't even have a chance to know if the content is good. Like, you see this on Instagram literally all the time, where you can post a video and 30 people will see it. How can you, like, a sample size of 30 people is not even close to know if something is good quality or not. And I even have this personal problem on X where I'll make a post, something that gets 30,000 views on YouTube, I'll post the same thing on X and I'll get literally 7 views. Like, how on earth does the X algorithm say, okay, no, this is not a very good video to share on X when 7 people literally see it? So it's proven that's a good video on Instagram. It's proven that's a good video on TikTok and YouTube, but X just chooses to show it nowhere. Like, that is the thing that makes no sense to a lot of people. Where's that button? There we go. One of my older vids suddenly got 500,000 views and still going strong. It was at 1,200 views the longest time for like 2 years. I know deep down it was incredible, a hidden gem. You agree too, right? It's a cat video, by the way. No, I'm not joking. It's a cat jumping off a chair. But hey, great content sells. Just need to find its audience or vice versa. Whatever. I don't know. It works somehow. Glad I didn't delist it. Because the only comment on it was, what a stupid video. Luckily me, no one was... No, it was good from the start. YouTube in particular is very good with this because I often hear stories of videos taking off months or even years later. I've had a couple examples like this. It just takes getting lucky once and then your content is good. Opportunity meets preparation. Opportunity meets preparation. Sometimes. And that's when that's when good things happen. It keeps me motivated, try to do my best on every video, even if it gets 0 views, because the process itself is enjoyable, and every time I post, giving myself more chances. It's way more fun that way. This person's got a good attitude. Well, the cherry on the sundae with all of this too is that YouTube isn't going to give you the recipe and the exact formula to, like, hey, if you guys are going to if you're going to start a YouTube channel, here's only things that you have to focus on. YouTube will never say that, because if they give you the recipe, then everyone's just going to copy it. And that's also why they change the recipe every couple months, because they got to keep things being fresh. YouTube has to balance all the things in order to maximize profits. True, profits. Nice theory. Sadly, this is not reality. When my history videos, which YouTube knows has an audience of 40 to 60-year-old men from the US and EU, are suggested next to South Asian manga videos, I bet the Malaysian teenager is very interested in my history videos. Oh wait, they are not. That's why the algorithm pushes my videos and my click-through rate drops below 1%. It's not a theory, it's exactly how it works, and YouTube has even confirmed this. Yeah, they convinced a lot of things over the years. You don't need to defend them. They are breaking things a few times every year. That does happen. You find lots of drama videos throughout the years of people's channels just tanking because something unknown changes in the algorithm. Viewers are a limited commodity. Their interests are usually quite specific. A viewer pops into YouTube and based on their interest, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The algorithm is made to serve ads. That, incidentally, overlaps with serving viewers, but only to a degree that the viewers will consume ads. Crazy. This popped up in my YouTube feed, talking about videos, excuse me, that are served from years ago. Let's check this out.
I'm basically the leading authority of this subject. Here, Alexa, is there anyone better at this than me?
Absolutely not.
There's two things that I want to cover, which are title card design and title card integration. But the most important note that I cannot stress enough is that you do not want a title card to interrupt anything. Or do you? Under certain circumstances, you typically do not, and that would be in the case of music videos or many types of YouTube videos in which retention is your primary goal. But sometimes the best method of presenting the title within the media
what's going on?
is through the use of interruption,
Kick chats.
or more accurately,
Hello.
some sort of impact. I will now conduct an experiment. Watch closely, this is actually really important.
Hey, Brian? Yeah?
What the hell? I don't watch Family Guy.
Pause.
Jesus.
Let's analyze what just happened here and why it worked. We can see Stewie prepared to hit Brian, and we are therefore anticipating the strike, and then when he finally does hit Brian, we cut to an entirely different thing on screen, paired with a drawn-out, impactful note in the music, which hits really hard. Now, alternatively, watch this version and see what you think. Yep, it was bad. Because it didn't come off as important or in any way furthering the impact.
What is this guy on about?
How to make title cards that look good. Type your title, pick any font that isn't Calibri, and then find the letter width slider, and to be honest, that'll probably work most of the time. But from that starting point, there are lots of ways to expand. For example, music videos have been following a trend of placing details and cast on the same screen as the title card, and I think it looks pretty cool.
Details, a film. Should we try these for our YouTube videos? Try doing like some cool title cards?
Some things that I like. Proper composition, physical integration, and like when the text is really big. So let's start with proper composition. What I mean by this is when the title is integrated into a shot in a manner that is unobtrusive and follows the rules of shot composition. I know that I just explained the value of interruption and impact in a title card, but both certainly have their place. For example, this versus this deliver very different feelings and set different expectations about what's going to follow. Next up, physical integration. This is when the title is tracked into the shot and is meant to feel like
Yeah,
it's
those
really
are
there.
cool. Those
This
are
works
cool.
great for
I
things like
totally could have
TVC.
done this with my Calgary downtown video. You know what I mean?
Where the title card risks getting repetitive, it's best to avoid disrupting things with a title and logo that the viewer is already familiar with. Now, big text. Take, for example, this title card from Joker. It's big, and this immense, literal frame-breaking size is almost maximizing this idea from before of interruption and confrontation. Now, all these things are cool, but don't dismiss how effective minimalism can be. Take this title card from one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Simple font, simple premise, and everything is contributing to the vision of the tone which they intend to establish for the movie. Maybe that's the most important thing here. The title needs to align with the principles of the content. But also, listen to the heartbeat which relates to the dead man's chest. That's right. This title card also has good sound design.
This has to be one of the best design videos I've watched in a long freaking time, dude.
If you want impact, pair the title with a harsh sound. If you want a more unobtrusive effect, don't do that, or maybe pair a fade in with some sound from the scene. You could also pair a title's introduction with the start of a music track, and you could pair this with a cut to make it even a little bit more impactful. Key points. Pick somewhere on this sliding scale of if you want impact or smooth integration.
Blend characteristics, center text, thick fonts, integration, thinner fonts, simple text and composition. This is cool.
Follow the directions accordingly, and the design of the title card itself doesn't really matter too much. Just try to make it fit kind of well or go super simple. Yeah, that's it.
This is a seriously underrated video. He gets my sub. Probably one of the best design vids I've seen in a while. Fucking nicely done. New sub. What else does this guy make here? I feel like I've seen Chavez before. Weird. I actually want to add this video to a playlist. I'm gonna watch this again. Save to design tutorials, I guess. This is just such an underrated video. Maybe add it to watch later. Do not buy the iPhone 17 Pro. Okay, I gotta watch this one too.
I'm using Photoshop, but literally any program will work for this style. That's you. Don't worry. Just watch through and you'll understand. Okay, let's get started. So, here's the picture we're starting with. Make sure to select it, hit rasterize. I don't really know what this does, but we need to do it in order to continue. So select layer, go to image, adjustments, and hue saturation. Lower the saturation so it's black and white. Go to brightness and contrast and bump up the contrast just a little bit. All right, now we're almost done. Select the background layer, select paint bucket, and paint it red. Now select the image layer, select the drop down for the blending options, and hit darken. Black paint bucket, fill in the edge. Looks great so far. Go to the filter gallery, find grain. This is what makes the image grainy. Play with sliders, mine are set to this. Click OK, now we need text. This is the most important part of this type of image. Type whatever you want, use a sans serif font or don't, who cares? I'd like large text to be bold. You can't see these letters, so select them, make them red. Some nerds in graphic design say that you shouldn't center text vertically because it won't look balanced, and that you should actually position your centered element slightly closer to the top, but I don't care, and I will never follow this rule. Now for the fun part, throw all kinds of stuff at this image. More text, icons, logos, anything you want. I'm putting in some smaller text at a less bold weight. Now we need more text. Alt-click drag to copy. Putting in more text. I love Megastroin, he is so cool. Make it black, move text over here. So far looks great. Now for icons and symbols. The world icon. Either of these look awesome. Drop it in, put it there. Recycling logo, sure. Copyright text.
Recycling logo.
Conceptualize all of the applications. Sell product, profit. You're a billionaire. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.
I like this guy's style. I'm surprised I haven't seen his videos before. I love this. Big W. It's the title, How to Make a Metal Style Logo, No Talent Required. These are even how to actually do a good title card. Bro, why aren't you making more videos? These are awesome.
Okay, so first you need to get the words or the band name that you want to have. Decide if you want to have 2 lines of text or 1, and then find the middle letter or letters of each line. Start with the right half of the logo, and then go from there. Make all of the letters I also added some lines at the bottom to give the entire thing a more interesting shape. Alright, so to make this, first thing you're going to need is to go out and get a picture, or you could like steal a picture from somewhere.
A7C? Is that what that was?
Okay, great. So I dropped it into Illustrator.
I want a back
You can
porch
use
like
anything
that.
for this really, because we're just tracing over it basically. All you need to worry about is making sure that you can draw shape over each face. Make sure that you include shadows, because that's going to be the coolest part. It's going to be hitting, and then have that purple over there if I had.
Yikes,
I also
dude.
need the door handle. Okay, that's it. Bye.
The real reason we should revive extinct animals. Okay, I'm gonna refill my tea, grab some water. We're gonna check this out. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, okay. Look alive, look alive. Nice. We've had a couple viewers on YouTube. We got a few coming in on Kick, a couple on YouTube. Good day so far. Press a 1 in the chat if you're ready for the weekend. You guys gonna be playing any games or creating anything? Would you like more viewers, Mr. Derek? Buy view bots here. Oh, that didn't actually do it? What?
From 1933. You see this dog-looking animal pacing back and forth in a cage? That's a Tasmanian tiger, one of the very last of its kind.
What? Is this broken again? Oh no, it still works. Okay, never mind, never mind. Sheesh. Having issues with Wavelink.
It died in 1936, and the species was ultimately declared extinct. But now, scientists are trying to bring them back. And it's not alone. You might have seen headlines about dire wolves, or woolly mammoths, or dodo birds, or passenger pigeons, or dinosaurs. De-extinction has become a new and urgent scientific debate that we should all know about.
Why?
But when
Why
I
is it
took a
so
deep
urgent?
dive into what's really going on here, I realized that we're getting this conversation very, very wrong. Because we're on the cusp of a huge genetic breakthrough. But the most huge if true thing happening here isn't actually bringing back extinct animals. It's what this means for all the animals alive today. And very few people seem to know about it.
De-extinction.
De-extinction.
Trying to bring back creatures from the past.
We can do this. Resurrect the woolly mammoth.
Dire wolf.
Tasmanian tiger.
It sounds like something out of a
Okay,
science
okay.
fiction movie.
It's no longer science fiction.
That's the future.
All right,
Huge
imagine
if
you're
true.
a mad scientist and you want to bring back an extinct animal. Here's the recipe. Step 1, choose your animal, like a mammoth. Now, from here, you need to choose one of 3 paths, and for each, you'll need different ingredients. You could try to take a close living relative of the animal that you chose and
Okay.
breed a bunch of them together until you get an animal with traits that roughly match the one that you wanted. This is the same basic process that made my dog Thor out of a wolf. But instead of trying to make something new and adorable, you're trying to
Okay,
make
where's
something
the
bold.
pug
It's called
on this
backbreeding,
scale
and it
here
can
with
work.
all its
Like with this guy,
messed-upness?
it's called a quagga.
I actually have a little toy quagga right here.
It's a subspecies of zebra native to South Africa.
They have stripes on the head
What?
and neck, and the stripes fade away along the body.
It was hunted to extinction by 1883, but we've already been able to bring a version of it back using backbreeding.
This is a really exciting approach.
And it can work for both animals and plants. But it is incredibly slow. It takes many generations of zebra to get there. And it's a guessing game. You don't know which genes will appear when and which will go away. In reality,
It's a
With
cool
sweatpants
method
kinda
that's
guy,
been done,
personally.
but probably pretty limited.
okay, but how about option 2? I remember in Jurassic Park, they pulled dinosaur DNA from blood inside a fossilized mosquito.
Bingo. Dino DNA.
And then they cloned the animal based on that DNA.
It's all part of the miracle of cloning.
Cool, let's do that. In real life, though, the ingredients that you need for this method aren't just the extinct animal's DNA. You need a whole living cell, because cloning is actually a very specific scientific technique.
The long name is somatic cell nuclear transfer.
It means removing the nucleus out of an egg cell and replacing it with the nucleus of a body or somatic cell of the animal you want to clone. And then you put that egg with its new nucleus into an animal where it can grow. And this actually works. Almost.
People tried this in the early 2000s with an extinct species called the bucardo.
These animals are
They
so
look like an
cool,
AI picture.
but by 2000, there was only one Bucardo left. But luckily, this was 4 years after Dolly the sheep was famously successfully cloned. So, in an attempt to save the species, some quick-thinking biologists put tissue samples from the remaining Bucardo in storage. And then they were able to take the nucleus from those cells and put them into the cells of domestic goat hybrids. And in 2003, a baby Bucardo was born.
Unfortunately, their first clone that was born had a malformed lung and didn't survive. This hasn't been tried again.
So we are able to clone animals when we have living cells, which is wild. But unlike the
kinda
Bucardo,
how they
nobody
clone
carefully
dogs,
preserved the whole cells of a mammoth. The biggest challenge is needing those living cells in the first place, because it turns out that cells have a shelf life. Once an animal dies, their cells are typically pretty short-lived, dying off within hours or days. But freezing can dramatically slow this process, which is why there's been hope that animals found preserved in ice, like this 40,000-year-old baby mammoth, might have some usable cells. But so far, no revivable cells have been found. So cloning is hard, but we've got one more option, and this one is by far the most popular.
For the 99.99% of extinct species, we have to use the third method, gene editing.
If you imagine DNA as a group of blocks, each block here could represent a gene. Like this one tells me the shape of the skull, and this one tells me ear size, and maybe this one tells me thick woolly coat. And then stacked together, they give me the instructions for how to build this specific animal. The challenge is, like living cells have a shelf life, so does DNA. Once an animal dies,
the DNA in its cells starts to break down into tinier and tinier and tinier fragments until eventually there's nothing left.
That's why right now we can't bring back animals that went extinct too long ago, like the dinosaurs. Too much time has passed and their DNA is way too fragmented. But if we use an animal that died off fairly recently, or was frozen in just the right way, scientists can figure out what some of those key missing pieces are and replicate this stack of blocks in another animal. This is gene editing. You compare the stack of DNA blocks of the extinct animal with the blocks of a close living relative to see where the two are different, and edit the DNA in the living relative so it resembles the DNA in the extinct one. This is what they're trying to do with woolly mammoths and dire wolves. But they won't be exactly like the extinct animal. In fact, people online were really quick to point out that these actually aren't really dire wolves at all. It's better to think of them as genetically modified gray wolves. But the thing is, that was intentional. Scientists are choosing which exact traits to manipulate to get the outcomes that they want, and they want to do it by making the least amount of edits possible. I asked the scientist in charge of the Direwolf project why.
I'm thinking about de-extinction, and I'm also thinking about animal welfare. Every time we change the sequence of DNA in a genetic background, there's a risk that something happens that we didn't predict. I want healthy animals in the end. Therefore, my goal is the fewest number of changes necessary to de-extinct those important characteristics.
So, de-extinction might have a branding problem, because people on one side are looking at the literal definition and saying, that's not de-extinction. And they're right, that's not the exact animal. But then on the other side of this, you have scientists who are saying,
does she have food in her hair right there? Is that food? Let's take a look at this here. What's that? What's that? It's like a piece of yogurt in her hair or something.
Bringing back exact replicas isn't really the point. They're not trying to de-extinct the exact animal. They're trying to de-extinct what the animal did. In the end, the whole direwolf or not direwolf debate doesn't really matter. Branding them this way makes for a good headline, but it's not technically accurate. And while the effort to bring back a version of a direwolf or a woolly mammoth is totally cool, I think it's a distraction from what is the real, huge if true, use of this technology. But first, let me show you something. This new phone case is special. It's not just that it's built with insane impact resistance and durability plastic off at the link in my description. There have been 5 times in the history of Earth where over 75% of all life was lost, and many scientists say we're going through a 6th right now. And while prior mass extinctions were caused by natural disasters, this one seems to be caused by us. But hang on, even if you don't care about animals and biodiversity, this sucks for us. This has huge impacts on our food and our homes and everything we rely on. Sucks for us. This has huge impacts on our food and our homes and
Isn't this beautiful? I'd love to live here. This place looks great. The problem is, with how totally effed our economy is, these houses are $1 million. It looks gorgeous, though. I'd be somewhere far, far off in the distance in my 70-year-old bungalow. Nice. I'm a house connoisseur. I love to look at stuff like this. I like me a good pie lot for sure. Which one would I take? You know what? I actually kind of like this one off in the corner. Not bad.
everything we rely on to survive. And here's the optimistic part. The same tools that we've been talking about to bring back extinct animals can also be used to help animals not go extinct in the first place. This is the part that got me most excited, and this is what I don't see enough people talking about. It's called genetic rescue. Meet the black-footed ferret. This adorable little guy is in need of genetic rescue because
every living black-footed ferret alive today are first cousins.
Yikes. This little guy nearly went extinct in 1979. Because of humans, the population crashed. But fortunately, they've started to come back. The problem now is that this new group of black-footed ferrets
It has really, really low diversity. Very small gene pool.
Scientists call this the bottleneck effect. If your group doesn't have enough genetic variety, you're vulnerable to things like disease and weird genetic mutations. This is a problem facing dozens of species whose populations put them at risk for genetic bottlenecking. But today, scientists are exploring gene editing to create more genetic diversity in some of those groups.
We can take DNA from a museum stuffed animal from 100 years ago, sequence its DNA, and then edit it into living black-footed ferrets. That's one way to get diversity back, which we are working on.
Another great example of using minimal gene editing to save a species is this little guy, the northern quoll from Australia. Look how cute he is! But they're expected to be extinct in the wild within the next 10 years because of this guy, this toad. This is the cane toad, and it's an invasive species. It's got a deadly toxin on its skin. So what happens is,
so our carnivorous little quoll will eat the cane toad and they die instantly from that toxin.
But scientists found that it's just one single letter of genetic code that makes them either die from eating a cane toad or completely resistant. Just one letter. So they're working on a way to introduce that one change into the population and make quolls that are able to eat cane toads without dying, saving an entire species. In theory, you could do a lot of this, not just making key animals poison resistant, but also disease resistant or heat resistant. There are projects to do this on coral reefs. Huge if true. But then, why are we trying to de-extinct animals at all? That brings us back to the Tasmanian tiger. Humans hunted these tigers until there were none left in the wild, but they didn't understand what would happen next. Without the tiger, Tasmania lost its only apex predator, a keystone species, meaning it has a huge impact on its ecosystem. And without them,
there's been an explosion of wallabies and kangaroos there. They're eating all the shrubs, they're eating all the bushes, you know, that's impacting the bird populations, it's changing the landscape.
Which means that now other species are at risk, like the Tasmanian devil.
They developed this incredibly strange disease, and it's actually like a cancer tumor that grows on their face, and they spread it from animal to animal.
Apex predators used to reduce diseases like this by eating sick members of the population. By killing all the Tasmanian tigers, we created a butterfly effect that's rippling through the food chain to this day. So, some are proposing
the only way we'll ever be able to bring that ecosystem back into balance is to put the Tasmanian tiger back into it.
It makes sense on
Tasmania
paper,
is
right?
an island cut off from
Makes
other
sense on
natural
YouTube.
predators, and many scientists agree that there's no other living species that could replace what the thylacine could do here. But could we actually do this? Well,
That is
they're
a crazy
following the
looking
recipe. They've
dog,
identified the
cat,
animal. They've
zebra,
sequenced the
cheetah-looking
DNA.
thing.
As for close relatives, this is the closest living animal to the thylacine. Their genetic makeup is 99.9% identical.
And then you just edit that 0.1% where they're different, and that will turn that then into a Tasmanian tiger or a thylacine cell.
Wait, 0.1%? That's actually a lot genetically.
And that's the bit that's going to take a really, really long time to get that bit done.
At this point, though, you might be wondering,
you just tell
whoa,
ChatGPT to do it?
Did we not learn our lesson from Jurassic Park? What are the consequences of actually doing this? When is it okay to use this technology, and when is it not? In other words, how do we get this right? What happens when you drop a predator back into an environment that hasn't seen it in decades? Well, in this case, it seems like a lot of the animals remember them.
We made some replica thylacines and we took them out into the bush in Tasmania. We saw that they absolutely, without doubt, even though it's been over 100 years since they were really there, all of those animals remember the thylacine. If there's a fox or a goat, they don't really care. But if they see the thylacine, they are out of it.
But what about the thylacine's
Really?
instincts? How would it know
That's
to
cool.
behave right, like a predator? How much of an animal is nature versus nurture? There's real debate here.
I frankly don't think that it will ever happen that we will see thylacines into the wild.
But advocates for the thylacine would argue
those behaviours are really hardwired in any animal's brain. The best example of this would be domestic cats. These are a pounce predator animal that have been living in our houses now for hundreds of generations, eating tinned cat food or little crispy biscuits. But if you wiggle a feather in front of them or a mouse runs across the floor, they immediately know that they are a pounce predator and they will pounce and kill and eat that animal.
we don't really know until we try, and they're trying.
This is all hard, but it's not like we're creating things that are suddenly going to just be released into the wild.
You would have them in a very large enclosure. You would really study them very, very closely and make sure that they have taken on all of the behaviours so that by the time we get a population that we could think about releasing into the wild, we know that they're going to be able to really thrive once again.
What this all means, best case, is we're still decades away from a wild Tasmanian tiger. But this technology is coming.
And we need to be part of that conversation right now.
It's obviously fun to imagine Jurassic Park or bringing back a dire wolf.
Yeah.
But as we have this conversation, we gotta be careful. We're talking about manipulating billions of years of evolution. There are huge stakes. Ethical stakes about using animals as lab experiments, environmental stakes that could accidentally devastate entire ecosystems, and, of course, the stakes of not doing absolutely everything we can. To me personally, the most huge, if true, optimistic bit of all of this isn't actually bringing back animals from the past. It's using all of this incredible science and technology to help keep the animals and the world that we live in now healthy.
I would love people to go away from this and be like, de-extinction science is conservation science and we absolutely have to use it.
We are living in a world that we changed before we understood the consequences. The real debate about de-extinction isn't what's a dire wolf, it's what responsibility do we have
hamsters.
to the world we created.
I've never even heard of this person before. Cleo Abram. What kind of videos does she even make? Video journalist making optimistic tech videos. Huge if true. I like that kind of play on words, the title. That's cool. Okay. Is there anything else that we want to... No one believes this place exists until they see it. What is this? Hidden Civ... I don't know. Should we wait for... Save that for next stream there? Of course, I watch one video on art and look at all the stuff it's recommending.
Recently, a YouTuber
I do not pay taxes. Interesting. Now, here's the funny thing. Should we end the YouTube stream and go live on the other YouTube channel? I wonder if we should. Let's check this up because I know TwitchCon San Diego is on right now. Let's see here. Here's everything announced during the TwitchCon San Diego opening ceremony. Here's a thread.
Now, you've probably noticed that all of our TwitchCon signs have a big 10 on them. That's because it's officially our 10-year anniversary.
All right, okay.
It's been 10 years, and 2015 was a very different time. Of the Immune Deficiency Foundation here with us today, which is so fun in the audience. We're really excited for the work that you've done, and we'd love to help you do even more good. So Twitch is going to be giving a $100,000 donation to the Immune Deficiency Foundation on behalf of you.
Okay. Tax write-off for Bezos for charity purposes. Not bad. All right. That's it? They announced two things. I thought there was going to be way more. What? Okay, whatever. I thought that there would be more to announce. Here's everything announced during the TwitchCon opening ceremony. Am I missing something, chat? There was two things? I don't know what to say about Twitch. That's weird. That's weird. Do 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 do. Close that. Let's close Figma. But he makes 5 videos about the iPhone? Jesus. What's going on? Something's scratching me in here. What's all you're up to? Yeah, but what's the price of this? I find that really scammy when you look at a website that doesn't tell you the price.
One who tried to make a personal website and gave up because it looked awful. Then I found PopSite. It's like Linktree, but it doesn't look like you gave up halfway. You just pick a template, add in the sections you want, forms, testimonials, whatever, and boom, it's live. I built mine in like 10 minutes, and it actually looks like I paid a designer. You just tap once to publish and share it. Though? That's it. You even get your own free domain. Just grab your username now before someone else takes it.
Did they actually have like Derek at PopSite? Oh no, that's so dirty. Why don't they just tell you on the home page if it costs money? It says no credit card required. Okay. But does that mean they charge you a premium? Stunning Prevo, effortlessly just pick customized, no design skills needed. Yes, but please, FAQs. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Why did it take so long to find out information that should have been on the homepage? Is there a cost to using PopSite? In short, PopSite offers both free and pro versions. The free version includes basic features, while the pro version unlocks advanced analytic, custom domains, and branding removal. I might actually give this a try. I'd be curious to, oh, this is built with Framer. Interesting. That's an AI picture for sure. I can tell because it's like the pictures in the background don't, like the items in the background don't make any sense. Popsite support.framer.wiki. I mean, is Framer good? Cool. Of course, some of the animated themes are probably for... I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna bookmark this somewhere private. Maybe I'll put it in the brand folder. Okay, there we go. Do 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 do. Oh, this would be funny. What's Dr. K have to say?
Let me understand. Because he always escapes. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay, always escapes responsibility. What else?
What does Dr. K have to say about Hassan Piker?
Let me understand. Because he always escapes. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay, always escapes responsibility. What else?
Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. That alert was pretty quiet, but thank you, thank you, thank you.
Maybe we're pro animals. Like, okay. Right? So animal abuse.
Yo, what's going on? Glacial Mushroom? I was going to call you Glacial Mushroom for a second there. Oh, what's this from the real estate agent? No, sorry. If you want to chat, we can chat right here. What's up, man?
But there's like all kinds of animal abuse going on all the time, right? There's like all kinds of animal abuse going on all the time. What bothers us so much about this instance of animal abuse? More so than everything else. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying y'all are wrong. I'm genuinely trying to understand why, for the people who do not think this is disproportionate. Like, tell me why.
The chat is going crazy.
Explain it to me.
People are raging over this.
He can't keep getting away with it. Exposes his true colors.
Okay.
So then this is like related to hypocrisy. This is beautiful. Okay, so he's like deflecting, talking about rapes. Okay, gaslighting. Okay, this is great. Okay, so I didn't feel super confident in what I was about to say.
Dr. K.
Double standards.
What do you guys think about this? I'm like so out of the loop. Does anyone even really know what happened?
Okay, I didn't feel super confident
It's just
what I was
everyone's
going to say.
talking
but
about this.
Man, y'all just really helped me out, so I'm so grateful. Okay. This is so good. Okay. All right. So remember when I said up here, there's pent up resentment. Okay. So I'm going to ask y'all a question.
Let's hear it.
Do we live in a world where there are some people who escape? Jesus, my handwriting is terrible. And I apologize for taking the Lord's name in vain. Are there people in today's world that escape responsibility? What do y'all think, chat? No accountability. Are we upset? Right? Can y'all think of anyone who is escaping responsibility for their actions?
What is this guy on about? This was a horrible clip. Like, what's his conclusion? That was a pure waste of time. What? I expected way better from Dr. K and Yeet. Come on here. OBS, that's actually kind of different. OBS being at TwitchCon, aren't they? They're an open source company who that's publicly funding. I wonder what who's they're representing. You announced 2 things? Can you accept my friend's request on IG? What does... Okay, we're going to end things on YouTube right now. We had a good morning chatting with a couple lovely people. Oh, what's this? Canada Post disruptions again. Is Canada Post going on strike? Whatever. We're going to wrap things up on YouTube today. We're going to be live on Twitch and Kick for a little bit longer playing some games, but that concludes the YouTube stream. There's some links all over the channel and a description where you can find me. But until next week, we will be live again, definitely on Friday. We're thinking maybe 3